Traders, what's going on? Welcome back to my YouTube channel for the trade ideas moving into the 14th of September. We gave some trade ideas yesterday, guys, and we did start to have some good movements in the market until that damn CPI news came out. We should have checked it, to be honest with you, is what it was. I wasn't in the market, and if you was, then you should have checked it as well. But it was at 1:30 p.m. UK time, and you can see here there was positive news for the dollar. So I'm not sure how that's going to affect the dollar moving into tomorrow. We can look at the markets. I'm not so much a fundamental trader. I know that it is relevant to the market's movement, but because I'm an intraday trader, I really just focus on price action and just trading the behavior of the day when I sit down to trade. So that's 1 to 2 hours a day. Try get here pre-London, and then if I haven't got into a trade, then I may come back for New York. Prefer not to, but I may come back for New York. So we're going to go through the market very quickly again, see what was spoken about yesterday and the ideas that we could have taken advantage of. And then what we're going to do is we're going to take a look at two of my trades that I took today and just give you a brief breakdown on why I took them. And then we'll quickly give an overview of the market and see what kind of trade ideas we can see tomorrow. Again, just a disclaimer, these trade ideas are just of my opinion. These are not facts. They're not guaranteed to win. They can all lose. So please make sure you're doing your due diligence and using your own approach to the market, making sure that you are taking trades that you are comfortable with. And of course, if you're new to the channel, think about subscribing. We're posting content on a regular basis now. Turn on that notification so you don't miss them. And of course, if you do enjoy it, hit that like button for me, guys. Support the channel. Show me that you're enjoying this content. And without further ado, let's get on. So guys, let me talk about the trades first and foremost. Actually, no, let's just go through the market. So pound USD, we was expecting a continuation of this bullish move, right? Looking for a 1638 retest or a retest to 6708. And you can see the market continue to respect this area. And it's very interesting. If you're an intraday trader, you can scale down. I'm not going to go into too much details about scaling down techniques here, but look, we have a higher low in this formation, structural low, lower high, beg your pardon, structural low, higher low. And then around pre-London, look at this. We had this really nice movement to the upside, and we were headed towards our target of 70.65, but unfortunately CPI came out and sent the market crashing. So good call there. Hope you was able to take advantage of some of those moves. We were expecting a continuation of that pound strength and potentially yen weakness. There was some conflict with EU and EJ, or should we say EJ more than anything, because of the strength of the euro. But we managed to call out the right idea here. And we did say that we're focused more on GU and GJ as opposed to some of the other pairs. So if you took advantage of this using some scaling down techniques, let's take a quick look actually around on the 5-minute time frame around 6:05. Let's see what we're seeing here. This is this intraday uptrend that I'm talking about here, that you start to see the market making these new highs and higher lows. So if we just drop in this brick wall, you'll see the higher lows here. And well, yeah, I mean, it's pretty decent, pretty simple to trade. There's many ways to trade this. You can be trading this as a higher low retest of the brick wall. You could be looking for your breakout trades above your major structural highs, looking for that 2-candle theory continuation. Plenty of opportunities for you to take advantage of here. Either way, it is what it is. Let's move on. Let's take a look at GJ. So I took advantage, or attempted to take advantage of, that bullish movement that we called on GJ yesterday. And I decided to take it from this level. Remember, I said that price is failing to break. So this might be an interesting intraday level to look for some continuation buys. And when I woke up during the Asian session, I can see price never broke below these structures here. So I did scale down and take advantage of this potential movement. And you're going to see what happened in a minute. You can see the market shut up. I'm not going to take credit for calling that out. That was, again, CPI news, which has depleted. And of course, that's probably boiling down to the fact that pound weakness with GU is in play now. So the trade that I took here was on GJ. The idea was based off of this level here, which was 166.50. And you probably can see why I took the trade. You know, you can see price, again, bearish momentum into this level. It was around 6 o'clock in the morning. We have a depletion of that bearish momentum. We have the bullish sentiment kicking in. And I said to myself, If we start to break above the structural high, there's a chance that we can continue higher. I did manage to get a 1-to-1. I didn't manage it to break even. Unfortunately, I was focused on other things here, but that's besides the point. I don't really care about that. And then what happened is we came down, we tapped me out, and then we literally flew back up. Now, I was considering this break back in. It made a lot of sense creating a bottom wick here on the new hourly candle. Looking for that continuation back to the upside in line with the structure holding. And we spoke about breakouts and breakback-ins yesterday. You'll see constant breakout and breakback-ins until the CPI news here. And I mean, if I took this trade here, we would have had a really nice 1-to-3 risk-reward ratio, if not more. But that wasn't the case. So it is what it is. We took an L on that one. Now, I decided to continue trading. I trade GJ and gold more often than not. And as you'll see here, this was another level we called out yesterday. Now, who remembers very clearly that I said we're not going to move our structural highs to any of these levels here, but we're going to focus on this area from the higher time frame, because this is the area where the initial moves have been beg your pardon. The initial moves have been moving from a higher time frame perspective. So we're not looking to drop any levels in and around. Here's a retest level. We're not looking to drop any levels. Here's a retest level. We are waiting for price from, I recorded this, which was here, to come back to 1720, look for that retest and continuation. After I took the L on GJ, which was around, I believe, 7 o'clock, I came over here and I saw this really nice structure where price is fading to break. We have a new structural high, which is a break above this structural high, a pullback, higher low, and then I took this trade based on a 2-candle theory entry technique here. And once we broke the structural high, I took this trade straight up for a 1-to-3 risk-reward ratio trade. So it was an absolutely gorgeous trade. And I've got some news for you guys about just a little project I decided to do. Just because of the conversations I've been having with traders more recently with their trading. What I'm finding is that traders are doing pretty well on their personal accounts. When it comes to doing the trials for the funded accounts, they're also doing very well as well. And when it comes to the challenges, it just seems like it's always a problem. And I'm constantly talking about believe in yourself. I'm constantly talking about trust in the process. I'm constantly talking about following your plan. And I continue to repeat this, and I know I'm going to do this until the day I die or the day I decide to retire from trading, which isn't anytime soon. But I'm just like, why are people not passing their challenges? Why are traders not passing their challenges? So what happened was about 11 days ago, 12 days ago, one of my brothers asked me to borrow them some money, 300 quid. It was his daughter's birthday. He took cash and they didn't accept cash. So popped the money in his account for him to use, and he transferred it back to me on Saturday. And I had an idea. I was like, well, let me see what I can do. You know, what is all the hype? Why are people not passing? So I went on to a funded challenge website. I'm not going to say the name for promotion reasons, but I went onto a funded challenge website. Their challenge was around the 300 quid mark, and I bought a 50K challenge. Got the challenge on Saturday and started trading it on Monday. And within 3 days, I'd hit the 10%. That was required to pass the challenge with around a 48% win rate and a risk-reward ratio factor of about 2.23 or something like that. Don't quote me, but it was around that. I will be sharing it with you guys soon. So I had to wait 7 days for the verification. The verification came to me last night. I woke up this morning and I decided to trade the verification, and I passed that in 1 day. I made the 5% that was required in the 60-day period. So now I have a 50K funded account. I'm not sure that I will continue to trade that account. It did take up a little bit of my time, even though it was a 4-day journey to pass everything and actually get that 50K account. But I think I'm just going to focus on my own personal account and the other things that I've got going on. But it was pretty plain sailing. There were some things that I picked up on and reasons as to why traders may not pass the challenges or actually get funded. But I was able to do it in 4 days. the first day I kind of felt like I was walking into the test, and I did have a word with myself and said, look, come on, rocks, fix up, look sharp, sort of thing. And I just followed my process, traded how I normally trade, and passed the challenge in 3 days, passed the verification in 1 day. And on the verification, I had a win rate of around 58 point something percent with a risk reward ratio of, I don't know, 1.7, I think it was. So I was always losing less than I was making. And it was just a simple process of executing my trades based on the 2 candle theory. And I was able to do that. So I'm going to come back with some feedback. I'm going to share the journey with you guys, because I think it's very important for you guys to understand that it's really not much different, or shouldn't be much different, to what you're doing as a trader with your own personal accounts or the trials. Even though I went through that little episode for a moment, a hot moment, whereby I felt I was doing a test. But it is what it is. So that is it. You know, I have this $50,000 account. I think I have to wait now 9 days until I meet the minimum days requirement. And then at the end of it, let's see where I'm at with my personal trading and my daily schedule to see if I'll trade it or not. But I want to share that journey with you. I think it will inspire you. I think it will give you hope. I think it will also make you realize that it is possible. And you just have to shift a few different mindset issues that you may be having to be able to accomplish this. Okay, so moving forward, let's just go through this quickly. On UJ, we was expecting a continuation bearish. You can see from the market open, guys, we did continue bearish. CPI news came in, smashed that to the upside. Regardless, anyway, I mean, you have some intraday lower highs here. We didn't really pull back to 143.69 or break the lows. We would have never known, or we will never know now, because of CPI. So let's not worry about that. But we had that bearish continuation. Euro yen, very interesting. Again, you can see here the market did start pushing to the upside. We were holding this 144 level here. CPI news came in. Euro yen shouldn't really be affected by the dollar, but if the dollar index is affected by the USD CPI, then euro is also going to be affected as well. Okay. So, I mean, look, whatever. We didn't break the level. We didn't get that pullback to that level. We said that if we break above these levels here, you can look for some potential breaks and highs. And what? Anyway, this is trash. This is trash. Move on. Euro USD, again, we wanted to see a break below this level. We didn't get that, which is completely fine. We weren't really interested in these pairs, so let's move on. USD CAD. Now, we was looking for a continuation bearish. You can see that we did respect this level here. What is this level? This level is 29.95, right? And we had that bearish move. So if he was able to take advantage of this morning pre-London, well done. If he wasn't, then it is what it is. CPI news again. So pretty decent call here, just simple structure following it. Yeah, Bob's your uncle on that one. Aussie dollar USD, we wanted to see a continuation bullish. That's exactly what we saw, a continuation bullish. So if he was able to take any buys off of this level here at 68.83, well done. CPI news again came and absolutely messed that up. USD Swiss franc, we were looking for a continuation bearish. We did have that continuation bearish movement through the Asian session. I'm not sure what the scaling down opportunities were here, but again, CPI news came and messed that up. New Zealand dollar USD, you can see that we were looking for a pullback into 61.19 for a continuation bullish. Through the Asian session, we had a nice pullback into around that area. If we just pull this up a little bit, we could fabricate this just a little bit, okay, just for the bants. There you go. You can see we have a depletionist bearish sentiment, and we had this movement back up to 61.64. Again, CPI news came and messed that up. So that's the analysis. That's my trades. That's the announcements. Let's get on with the trade ideas moving into tomorrow. So let's move over to the daily time frame. Let's clear the charts. I think it goes without saying, guys, CPI news has definitely indicated this dollar strength in line with the structure. Again, we're looking bearish here. Behavioral wise, we are looking bearish, and we would anticipate a continuation of that bearish movement tomorrow. We have to be cautious of some of these structural lows here, and I'm going to mark this as the structural low from a daily time frame perspective, as we have a breakout break back in, and then we'll start scaling down to our 4H time frame to see what's happening with the structure. In terms of the structure, this bullish movement is now over. We have bearish behavior in the market. We have confluences from the other pairs as well, indicating to us that USD is strong. and potentially pound weakness. So what I'm going to be looking for tomorrow is I'm going to be looking for price to pull back into some of these retest levels here. Now, it's interesting to point this out because if you understand how to scale down, you'll identify this as a really nice break and retest level here from an intraday perspective. So after the CPI news, we had this strong bearish movement to the downside, a continuation, a pullback into this area around 15. What is that? 1570 thereabouts. Into this previous structure here, we have a really nice bullish depletion, bearish indication, bearish continuation. And I mean, if you traded this afterwards, you have a really beautiful 61 pip range here to the downside. If you took advantage of that, kudos to you. Really well done. So this is a very interesting level to see if we get that exhaustion phase back into 1578 tomorrow for continuation bearish. Again, we'll still maintain that 61 pip range, maybe a little bit more, but it really doesn't matter. And if we don't get that pullback into 1578, then what I'm going to be looking for is for a clean break below the structure, a nice retest of this previous area and a continuation down. Now, I'm going to mark this area here, not that I'm too concerned about this indecision from a high time frame perspective. Just mark this, though, as an area where the market can react to before breaking. So again, just check your range, make sure that your risk reward ratio is good, giving you a positive expectancy here and giving you that edge in the market that you need. And once you've got that edge, you can take your trades very confidently. Small stop losses, minimal losses, big targets, guys. And I think this is just a really simple plan of action. I'm not going to go into too much more detail about this. If I go to the hourly, let's take a look at the hourly to see what that provides for us. I've taken away the major high here. It's really irrelevant in this situation. Yeah, I think we've got everything locked in. Major structural low, retest level in the market here, a break below the structural low. Let's pop in a price label here and then a retest of the structure and continuation. So really, really simple plan here in line with that USD strength and potential continuation going into the 14th of September. Cool. That's GU. Now, what is the plans for GJ? Now, we're going to have to take a look at the market to see what the strength is saying of the yen to support the idea that the pound is weak. I will say to you, the fact that we have failed to break above this structure is pretty significant. Let's get to the daily for a second, actually. It's pretty significant. So I'm not going to fabricate anything here in terms of structures to the left, but look what's happened, right? We had an area since the 21st of June that price tapped into and is now respected. I'm not sure that this is a supply zone per se. I think it's more so the fact that the CPI news had an effect on the markets. And if it's supply, whatever, I don't really care. If it's resistance, whatever, I also really don't care. What I'm looking at here is bearish behavior in line with GU, indicating potentially pound weakness and yen strength. Bullish behavior hasn't been sustained into a major structural high here that was put in June and now being respected around 167.94. And I'm anticipating a continuation bearish tomorrow based on this information. Now, we've got to be careful, right? Just because GU may be weak and we may have a continuation bearish, it does not mean GJ will continue bearish also. So we'll gather some information as we go through the market to see if yen is strong, and we will make up our mind or make our plans then. At the moment, we're just putting in our structural low. This is a consolidation. So more often than not, once we break out of a consolidation, we come back to this level for a retest and then a continuation. So if you go down to the 15-minute time frame, once we broke out of this consolidation, you can see bullish sentiment, bearish indication, depletion, bullish sentiment, and potentially even lower time frame, intraday time frame trading opportunities. Even if you didn't get it on the immediate retest, you still have a lower high formation structure here into another retest area in the market. So if we use this information to, let's say, scale down to the 5-minute or the 3-minute or the 1-minute, you'll then start to see the structural low, lower high, or higher low, lower high, low, lower high, retest continuation. You've got to take advantage of these moves, guys. It's pretty simple to do that. And by the way, I've coughed a couple of times in this video, clearing my throat. So, and I'm really not going to go back and edit it, so I do apologize. I'll try and do it next time, okay? I'm running a little bit late with this one. But you really got to be taking, got to be mindful and taking into consideration what is happening in the market, what is the sentiment, what is behavior, what are the shifts, what are the small signs, and really be getting in these moves. Really have to be getting in these moves. Let's say we even got into this move here, right, after this bearish close. Let's not fabricate anything here. We're not going to stick to a 9 pip stop loss. I think a 10 pip stop loss. Well, look, more often than not, we're going to put it above structure here. I may have not taken this trade with such a big stop loss, right? But let's say you were using the consolidation to put your stop loss above. Here's a great trade. If you put your stop loss for 10 pips, you got stopped out. Okay, what do you do? Here we go again. You got another opportunity. Bullish sentiment, bearish indication, and then you're looking for that continuation. Now you got your 10 pip stop loss. And then look at this. Simple trades. So if you're sitting there all day long taking trades, guys, and just for the sake of it, one after the other, 15 minutes after the last time you lost a trade, just stop doing that, man. Just stop doing that, because look at the opportunities that you have in front of you if you're just patient. The markets are always going to provide opportunities for you every single day, because a candle has to close bullish and a candle has to close bearish at some point. And this bearish candle is just comprised of a few 5-minute or a few 15-minute candles if you're using the 4H hourly, 30 minutes your higher time confluence or catalyst. Be smart, be patient, take your time, guys. And if you don't get into the trade today, then what do you do? You know, come back tomorrow, start again. There's always going to be opportunities for you. So we just broke down potentially retest here from the hourly time frame. Let's remove this and this. And that was just some intraday technical analysis there that you can and should be practicing on a regular basis. So we have our failure to break the structural high. We have our major high at the top, I do believe. Yes, sir. We have the break below this previous structure. What I'm looking for tomorrow to see a continuation of this movement is price coming back to around 166.48 for a retest and then a continuation. It's that simple. That is all I'm looking for tomorrow. Now, there might be an opportunity in the market where price just continues to push down and then we pull back. You're just going to use the next low and you continue to use the next low. And wherever the lower high is formed, you can either look for double tops, triple tops, bullish depletions, bearish shifts, to then use scaling down techniques to take advantage of patterns. On the pullback, that will look like this: a failure to break, a continuation, I beg your pardon, an initial move, then an intraday lower high, and then you're looking to take the trades on the break of these lows, which will just be a simple continuation of this movement. Okay. I don't think I have anything else to work with here on this one. I'm just going to patiently wait and see what happens with GJ. I really do like 166.48. Now, saying that, I do have in the back of my mind and must be considerate of this level here. Okay? I must be. If pound shows weakness tomorrow and yen shows strength, then I'm looking for that sell. But if pound shows strength and yen shows weakness, then I'm looking for those buys. Okay, you have to be open-minded to this, because we can't disregard the fact that the overall sentiment, the structure is bullish. Sorry, the overall structure of the market is bullish, but the sentiment is bearish. Okay, so just keep that in the back of your mind. That is like, I wouldn't call it a last resort, but that is just definitely an option that could happen. Now, if you don't want to take a trade at 166.48, let's see the range here. Now, you shouldn't sweat that. I mean, 30 pips is massive. Get a 10 pip on that, and you already got a 1 to 3. Maybe not. Well, it depends what entry you get, but you get a minimum of a 1 to 2. If you don't want to take a trade like that, just wait for your break and then look for that retest of 166.15 and continuation. Always a safer option if you want to be have more confluences and have more structure that forms. Again, if you wait for that retest, that break and that retest, look at your range. You just increase it dramatically. And I mean, hit a 1 to 6 on this, hit a 1 to 5 on this, hit a 1 to 4 on this, risk 1,000. Look at the money you make. You understand? Be patient, guys. So it's my plans with GJ. Now, looking at gold, I'm expecting gold to continue bearish, of course, because of the dollar strength and the CPI news. Interesting to see structure being respected here. You have on the daily and overall bearish structure, lower high, lower low, lower high. We have multiple wick projections here where price has been failing to break above this for a long time. I'm not saying you would have been taking sales off of it because the way gold was pushing bullish this morning, that's why I got into those buys. It could have kind of thrown you off sort of thing. But we want to be mindful of our retest levels. And now we've retested 1734. So now we have the continuation bearish. We do have to always remember that we have not broken this low since July. If I was you, I'd be very patient in either waiting for the break of this structural low, or you could potentially be looking for continuation movements back down to this low from an intraday time frame perspective. Now, when the candle opens, we should create a wick, means we're going to pull back. When we're going to pull back, what we're looking for here is area in the markets where we can look for those retests. Now, I'm going to use two levels here because this is a previous structural low, so it's a reaction level in the market, and this level has been respected twice. So this is around the 50% range of this initial move. If we have a deep pullback, I mean, that's a bit... is a bit much for a single day. If you measure the movement of the CPI candle and then measure the movement from where price is back to these highs, it will be a big ask to see price come back here. You know what? I don't like it. I just think it's too much of a big ask. Even if it happens, I just don't want to be a part of it. By the time price gets back to here, it's going to be way too bullish for me to even care. So I'm going to just focus on this level. I will see this as an intraday consolidation where price was tracked for a period of time. Finally, we break this level. And now what I'd like to see is a nice pullback into 1714 for a continuation back down to 1695. That is it. If we don't get a pullback and through the Asian session, we have a continuation, then I'm looking for the break, retest, continuation. And that is it. Nothing more to be working with here. Because of the really strong push phase, I'm not even going to scale to look for intraday time frame moves because I want a deeper pullback to be certain that the pullback is ended. I'm not saying I wouldn't trade opportunities around this area. I just don't want to advise you to do it. I mean, I did advise yesterday, I guess, on GJ, so you can make your own decisions, but this is an interesting area. I won't lie. From an intraday perspective, this is a very interesting area to look for sales as well. For those that know, you know. For those that are not too sure, wait for a little bit more confluence, okay? That's my ideas behind gold. Moving over to USD JPY. I mean, of course, the overall structure of this market is bullish. On the daily, we have a bullish continuation. And now it looks like we're breaking above a structural high. So we want to see that break close above, or at least by the time we wake up for the London session or pre-London session, we want to see that daily candle has already created its bottom wick and we're pushing bullish. And I'm not really going to spend too much time on this one, and I think I've said it on every single pair, so excuse me. But if we're going to continue with that USD strength, it is a simple case of a continuation to the upside. This is showing signs of yen weakness, but that is only because the dollar is strong. So we do need to, well, hold on. Did I actually? No, I really didn't miss it. We're going to be moving over to EJ in a minute. We want to see if EJ is pushing bearish to support the idea of GJ continuing bearish and pound weakness, but we'll get there in a minute. So that's that. Of this structure, this is a structural low, so I would work with this. Again, I much prefer to take the breakout and break back in. 4 hourly is going to tell me different, as I'm going to have to adjust this to the 4 hourly level. So I'll just adjust this. And then we got another option here. We have a potential retest of the previous structural high, which would be really nice to see actually. So that will be the new daily candle open where the wick forms for a continuation higher. It's not a bad shout. That's in line with USD strength. And then I think my second plan of action, I mean, this is a deep pullback. Again, if we have that deep pullback, then I'm just not going to trade in the market. It just makes no sense. Again, look at the size of the CPI candle and then look at what it will have to do again to get back here. It's possible, but the shift would just be too much that I would just prefer to wait for a clearer sentiment for the next day. So 143.36 retest. That's a daily wick form continuation and or break of 144.56 and a retest continuation higher. Simple analysis there on UJ. Now, taking a look at Euro Yen, we called out potentially a bearish movement yesterday because price was failing to maintain that bullish sentiment. Do we have a break back in here? Maybe. maybe. Yen is showing signs of strength. Let's go, baby. So now we have two confluences to support that yen strength, meaning that GJ could continue bearish based on our analysis, which is fantastic. If this daily candle closed bearish, I would expect a continuation of that bearish move. I'm going to disregard the information to the left for now, and I'm just going to focus what's on the right here, which is current behavior. And that's what I prefer to trade, current behavior in this instance. And I'm not going to tell you why we have this variation right now. It's a bit long to go into it, but it's more important that we focus on current as opposed to yesterday, looking at previous. This is our range back to the downside. Looking at the 4H time frame, we want to see a potential trend line break, and as I like to call it, a brick wall break. We're getting it. We have a failure to close above, which is very interesting. Bullish depletion, bearish sentiment. And I think it'd be really, really nice to see this happen tomorrow, which would be the first lower high, the break of the previous higher low, a clean break of that brick wall, and a continuation bearish. Beautiful. If we continue bullish, then we do, right? It just is what it is. We will focus on the pairs we understand the most. But as of now, sentiment is illustrating potentially yen strength. We'll take a look at what Euro USD is doing in a minute to see if we have Euro weakness. But as of now, I'm going to keep it so super simple, and that is it. For you intraday timeframe traders who like to scale just a little bit lower, we could potentially be having a break and retest of this structure. Looking at the time, I do not suggest you jump into this the minute you watch this. Allow price to breathe for a little bit. Leave this area, come back to the retest, and then let's try and pick up some of these trades back down to these lows. We have a really nice range here. Oh, gorgeous, 98 pips. If that sets up and forms, then I think this would be fantastic. I'm not going to go any deeper into any more analysis on this one. So going over to Euro USD, we want to see Euro weakness. And oh yeah, I forgot Euro USD strength, right? So Euro weakness. Guys, I think we might be on the right side of these calls tomorrow. So make sure you're watching these charts. So let's see what's happening here. We have an area in the market where price is reacted to, or CPI news. Well, actually, let's give this move some credit here. It reacted to this yesterday as well, and I think it's something we picked up on, right? Anyway, CPI news to the downside. So not much I can work with here. We would anticipate that if price is going to continue bearish, we'll come back down to some of these lows or even lower. So be mindful of that as well. You just want to check your ranges. So either or. Going down to the 4H time frame, we have now broken the brick wall. We have price failing to break and close higher. We have a higher low that has been has been broken. So potentially this may be the retest level, but I think if price has to pull back here, then we may have a sentiment change. So let me remove those. I think I have an idea where I want to be trading from. Here, this is my reaction level. And tomorrow, what I'd like to see from Euro USD is a nice pullback into this area and a continuation bearish. Now, if we're going to have a continuation of that USD strength, Euro weakness, as we're starting to gather from Euro Yen and the CPI news, then we do have a very strong chance of breaking some of these lows. So if you miss the opportunity for the retest because price continues bearish, then I personally would say wait for the lowest break here, unless you're an intraday trader and you know how to scale down and you can take advantage of maybe the 1 minute time frame and take advantage of this range. Pretty big, by the way. Then you can look for some break and retests here. If not, just wait for the 99.01 for some of you swing traders or high time frame traders. Audi time frame, do I need it? I don't think so. We do have that is it, guys. That's my analysis on Euro USD. So moving over to Aussie dollar USD, we know that we're looking for buys based on USD strength here. From daily perspective, we have had a lot of bearish sentiment over the last week or two, and we have had a failure to break this high. Now, I would say to you personally, just like we looked at a minute ago on one of the other pairs, USD JPY, it would be better that you see price break above this structural high. We will scale down in a minute for those retests from an intraday perspective. So we create a wick first continuation higher. So let's go search for that retest area in the market. So usually we're going to be looking around the 50% retracement mark, which is this area here. We have a support level here. So when we go down to, let's say, the 30-minute time frame, you can see the support level or the retest level, whatever you want to call it here. So that's definitely a nice area to be looking for that wick to form on the next daily candle. But if this does not continue, beg your pardon, if this just continues to fly up, then the simple plan of action is going to be a break and retest. And remember what we done the other day, yesterday, guys. We called out our buys on gold, even though we had a zone through the level. It came perfectly to that level and went up. We are not moving this again. We're focusing on 31.71 for that retest and then looking for that continuation higher. If you put it here and you take the trade and it dips deep into a major high time frame level, you get stopped out. But if you keep it where it's supposed to be, then the chances are you won't take a trade here and you wait more patiently for the trade to come back to 31.71. Simple plan of action. Not much more to say about this one. And again, I'm not scaling down to the hourly time frame. I think it's irrelevant in this situation. Looking at Aussie dollar USD, again, we know what we're looking for here. We're looking for a continuation bearish. Just be mindful, again, we haven't broken these lows since July. I don't doubt the fact that it can absolutely shred this tomorrow. We want to look for an area in the market where we potentially can look for a 50% retracement. I'm not going to mark the highs because if we pull back here again, then again, the sentiment in the market has changed and I'm not interested in trading it. So the areas that I'm focusing on is this and the break of this. From a 4-hourly perspective, the higher low has been broken. The brick wall has been broken. We have a failure to break the structural high. And based on simple structure trading, simple price action trading, we can look for a really nice pullback into this level for a continuation bearish. There you have it. The range that we have from 68.18 back down to the lowest 80 pips. Beautiful. Or if we don't get that pullback because the sentiment is just too strong, then we're just looking for a simple break of 67.32, retest, and see you later, alligator. That's the analysis on Aussie dollar USD. I'm not scaling down to look for no hourly time frame levels here, guys. I'm really focused on the 50% or the break of the low. That is it. All right, looking at USD Swiss franc, we do anticipate this to go bullish. You know, again, just like USD CAD, right? We've had quite a few days of this bearish movement. USD CPI news has shot this up. You know, I'm not convinced. Oh, let me not say that actually. Let me just mark in my levels, right? And then whatever happens, price action is price action. I don't control it. We have a retest level here from the higher time frame perspective. We have broken the higher low as well from an intra time frame perspective. But I do think this is a significant level. You can't disregard the fact that there has been orders sitting here as prices shot up. So whether they've accumulated again or not, I really don't know. But what I'll be waiting for is a price to create the bottom wick, start breaking above these structural highs, then look for that retest and then that potential continuation back to some of these structural highs if USD continues to show signs of strength. Let's see if we get some intraday levels here to work with. Nah, you see? And I'm not going back here. You've got to be crazy. Like once price shifts behavior, I'm not using that data anymore, especially once we create a new trend. So that's all I'm working with. 96.31 break, retest, continuation higher. And did I pop in the range meter there? Or the range ruler, calculator, thermometer, whatever you want to call it. Oh, damn. 143 pips. Okay, USD Swiss franc. Let's look out for that. Final pair we'll take a look at is New Zealand dollar USD. New Zealand dollar got shredded, absolutely shredded. Overall sentiment, structure of this market is bearish, lower lows, lower highs. Sentiment is bearish, behavior is bearish. We finally have a break of this structural low and a very confident break here. I'd rather price not break back into it. So let's mark this level. Again, I really don't care about the structural high because if price comes back here, we have a sentiment change and definitely an intraday structural change. I like the break of 60.38. I'd like to see price come back here, retest it, and continuation, and see a continuation bearish. Whew. So guys, some very interesting analysis. I'm really looking forward to tomorrow. I don't think I'll be trading. I've had a very, very good week so far. Last week had a very good week, but I might dabble. You never know. Okay. Let's see what happens. I think some very interesting news. I'm still going to be focusing on pound USD, pound JPY, because of the pound weakness. And it just seems a bit more prominent to me than, I mean, everything else prominent with USD strength, but I just like it. I prefer it. It would be interesting. Some USD CAD, USD Swiss franc potentials if we break the highs and the retests and that. EU EJ, bit shifty, but I think we're going bearish with yen strength, or that's potentially euro weakness. Let's see. But they're my ideas. Again, just so you know, they're my opinions. So don't take them as facts, and please just be responsible when you're trading. Anyway, guys, I hope you've enjoyed it. If you do, please, 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 please smash that like button. For me, it just does wonders for the channel, for the video. You know, it just shows me that you're enjoying the content, and I will just keep doing it. You know, that burning zest of fire. Anyway, I'm hungry. I'm going to eat. And if you're new to the channel, subscribe, turn on notification, guys. And until next time, continue to trust the process.